Welcome to another ChabDog Sports Talk Radio, Sports Talk TV show, Sports Talk YouTube show for now. It'll soon be the ChabDog show on ChabDog.com with no YouTube involvement whatsoever. But welcome all for our first Sunday first weekend in August. The first show here, the last show where ChabDog's missing. He's on his way back from Lithuania right now. We can't wait to hear all of his tales next week of his exploits last week in Latvia and Lithuania and the Baltic states there, and what he saw and what he learned and how good it was. But today we've got lots to cover. Today's show topic is Indictment football. You might say, well, what are you talking about? Well, we're going part of the show. We're going to talk a little bit about some things you might have never have known, or might have forgotten, or might have not put the pieces together in terms of football's early involvement. You know, it wasn't nearly as popular as it is today. But what's happened lately is, and you've seen it with your own eyes. Why have all the salaries gone up to as high as they are? Why are the teams now valued at $3 and $4 billion for a freaking football team? Why do these values suddenly escalate over the last 10 years? Well, it's clear that the money came from broadcast networks. The NFL has pickpocketed, or basically the networks weren't able to protect their franchise, and they were able to take advantage of that and have a big influx of wealth. But I'm going to suggest to you that the party's over. I have to explain to you how they purloined this wealth for the NFL, but that'll come up later. We'll talk a little baseball. Got to hear how the Mets fared there this week. And, we got, of course, Pee Wee Herman. Paul Reubens passed away, unfortunately, this week, so we're going to do a little tribute to him. And, then we've got some Apocalypse Now clips that I want to skillfully adapt to the Mets situation. I think a lot of what Colonel Kurtz says up on that camp that he's in there when Willard shows up it fits the Mets situation today. And we've got our guests, our co-hosts here, co-hosts on here today. There we are. Let's see, starting from the upper left-hand corner on my screen is Aaron. Welcome, Aaron, from New Jersey. Oh, and let me turn the sound on. There we go.
Yes.
There we are. And then below him is Abe Miranda, and from Santa Clarita, California, and to on his right, or our right on the screen here, is Dorothy. Dorothy D, can you see everybody else? Can you see me?
No, but I have no clue what's going on over here.
Oh, you look great. Can you see Abe or Aaron?
I have no clue. Maybe it's something on
my
settings. I don't know.
Well, then put the show on your phone, because you know what? Just for you, because ChabDog is not here. You know what I did for you today? I got that clip of Javier Barez's bare ass to show you today.
I have to get it so I can see.
Yeah, the one that ChabDog gets all squeamish about whenever we show it. You know the one.
That was so weird. I was like, okay, what's your problem? Maybe it looked too good for him.
Yeah, technical difficulties. Well, in the meantime, let's get into some baseball here. And Aaron, let's start with Mr. Met himself in New York. What on earth happened this week? And it's fire sale time, right?
Yeah, they traded everyone, so it's almost pointless watching the team. Their lineup isn't really filled with prospects. Their best prospects are all in the minor leagues, except for Brett Beatty. I don't know if he even counts as a prospect. They have Brett Beatty, Francisco Alvarez, the great catcher. Alvarez is showing this tremendous power, which gives us hope. Brett Beatty, it feels like hasn't gotten a hit in a month, and he might be a huge bust, but the stats, the numbers, the boring stuff says that it's too early to tell with Brett Beatty, so we just have to keep now, because the season is a wash, is a good time to just keep rolling him out there without worrying about him dragging down the lineup, which he is doing anyway, even though the rest of the lineup's filled with AAA players like DJ Stewart.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, there's not, because there's only those two young guys in the lineup. There's not even much to look at, even. It's just a bunch of guys who probably aren't going to be a part of the future of this team, or guys like Nimmo and Lindor, who are signed for such a long time that they have to be part of the future of this team.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, since the Mets had that fire sale, they have 0-5. Got swept by the terrible Royals. Now they lost the first two to a really good Baltimore team, so that's not surprising. So. Mm-hmm. I mean, you could bet against the Mets. The odds are finally catching up with how bad the Mets are.
Mm-hmm.
The Orioles are -200, I think. Mets are +170 today. But Like even yesterday, Baltimore's I saw them at minus 150, which seemed like a great bargain, and it turned out to be because Mets lost by 4 runs.
Four.
So yeah, it's bad. It's not even. I mean, it's all done. They're probably not going to be worth talking about from a national standpoint for the rest of the season. So
Oh yeah, they haven't been
I
worth
watched,
talking about for
yeah.
4 weeks from a national point of view. But you myopian people.
Well,
in
the
New York
fire sale
area
is a
didn't
big
know that.
story. The fire sale is a big story. They trade Verlander and they made these big moves and they abandoned this team that had the highest payroll.
Mm-hmm.
But now that it's over, they're a pretty boring team.
Yes. Okay, so let's assign who the roles are here. Who's the madman in the clubhouse that caused all this problem, or in management?
Buck Showalter, the manager, but he only caused anything. All he did was, I mean, he had a great season last year, so it was no brainer that he was going to be the manager this year. And then this year, a lot of fans are upset because he's just not showing any urgency. The Mets got hit by a lot of pitches last year, and they got hit by more pitches this year. And he kind of just stares out of the dugout, doesn't really do anything about it.
Okay, so it's Buck Showalter, and who's going to be the madman? Who's the person who's coming up river to tell Buck Showalter he's got to?
Billy Epler.
Who's going to terminate him?
The general manager, Billy Epler, who everyone thinks is gone, but Steve Cohen, the owner, just praised him, said he did a phenomenal job at the fire sale. So I don't know if he's gone. Everyone thinks the Mets are going to hire the the Brewers baseball operations president named David Stearns. He's done a pretty good job with them, although they kind of have peaked and not won the pennant. But he did a good job turning that franchise around. Everyone thinks he's going to be the next guy the Mets have in charge of baseball operations. But the last 3 years, they haven't been able to hire him because he's under contract, which means the Mets have been rudderless and making bad trades because Billy Epler doesn't know what he's doing.
Perfect. Well
last trade deadline was a disaster.
Of Billy Epler here in a moment, but now YouTube had a chance to read this. Their computers had a chance to already read this, but I'm going to read this for everybody else so they can hear it, and YouTube's computers can hear it again, and everybody else whose copyright material we respect and will be played today, but it's going to be played under this section here, so you can't go crying to mama that we broke any rules because we didn't. And this is the copyright disclaimer under Section 107 of the Copyright Act of 1976. Copyright disclaimer under Section 107 of the Copyright Act of 1976. Allowance is made for fair use purposes, such as criticism, comment, news reporting, teaching, scholarship, and research. Fair use is a use permitted by copyright statute that might otherwise be infringing. Non-profit, educational, or personal use tips the balance in favor of fair use, and we are tipping the balance on all of those three and any one of those three at any given moment on this show. So just fair warning to everybody else, NBC Universal and everybody else who might get offended. Hey, fair use. We're playing your stuff. You should be so lucky that we're giving it some plug here. Oh, my goodness gracious. So with that, yeah, here's the GM going up to Buck Showalter, heading up river here. Let's see if this overlays properly. Showalter's not bald, though, is he?
No, he's got fantastic hair for someone his age.
Why they want?
Is that the GM right there? The dirty, grotty guy?
Command. I was sent on a classified mission, sir. No longer classified. Is it?
So that's Marlon Brando right there. This is out of Apocalypse Now. And just picture, Francis Ford Coppola is just trying to do a movie. He's a director. He's trying to do his job. In fact, he's mortgaged his own house and mortgaged his own future to do the film. He pays a no-return contract, pays like $2 million cash to Brando to get Brando to show up. And no questions asked. Brando shows up. He's like 400 pounds overweight and just totally out of it. And he's got to do this. And he's got like 3 days, and that's it. And Brando's going to say, I'm out of here. I fulfilled my contract whether you got your shit in the can or not. And this is what this is what Coppola turns it into.
What did they tell you? They told me that you had gone totally insane. And that your methods were unsound.
Of course, that's not what Steve Cohen said the other day.
Are my methods unsound? Any method at all.
Spooky, man.
I expected someone like you.
Yeah. So is that pretty much it? Is that the situation of the Mets? Bueller?
I think it would be more relevant if everything was like doused in gasoline and then somebody lit a match in there.
Okay.
I think it would be a little bit more
And,
true to
and Ellie Epler was the dog saying this is fine.
Yeah. Yeah, everything's fine.
everything, there was not enough fire for me in this clip.
Mhm.
Did accurately describe the New York Mets, but
Well, I have another scene for that. Let's okay, maybe you can talk about the chaos of being a Mets fan this year, and this will lead well into our next comparable scene from Apocalypse Now in the 2023 Mets.
well, I mean, it's a tough. I think it's tough. This is going to be ugly for the rest of the season. I mean, this is going to be an October-less, run for the Mets. I mean, once the season is done, that's it. I mean, that's it for the Mets fans. They're going to have to pick another team in the playoffs because, the hopes for this team to even get to the wild card spot looks pretty hopeless. So, I mean, I think they're done. I think the fans know they're done. I think the only positive that's left is probably the few giveaways that you can probably pick up at Citi Field for the rest of the season. I know there's an Edwin Diaz bobblehead coming.
Oh,
I mean, that's what you can look forward to.
Okay, I'm going to latch on to that because it's
you got the bobblehead.
Bobblehead looks pretty good.
bobblehead, yeah.
I mean, it doesn't grow grass like the Francisco Lindor bobblehead, but it's pretty cool.
Yeah, the grass growing Francisco Lindor bobblehead was really cool. I saw that Frank had that video up on it, and then the Indiana Jones Mr. Matt was pretty sweet.
Oh yeah, I like that one too.
I really like that bobblehead. So the Mets keep their fans happy with the stuff, and man, they show up for those things.
Okay, here's a live look. Here's some film of the Mets showing up for the next bobblehead night. This is all they have left. Bobblehead night. I guess it's rainy there.
You were dead.
A little rain coming in there that night. Yeah, that's what it sounds like around Queens.
You think it's so bad, huh, nigga?
That's exactly what it sounds like around Queens. Come on.
Go! What the fuck you think I'm shooting at? Son! I'm sorry, sir. There are goops out there by the wire, but I think I killed them all.
No, they're giving away Lindor
Shit,
dolls.
man. Listen! Oh, shit. He's trying to call his friends, man. Son of a plant. Bad, huh, nigga? You think you bad, huh?
They're all dead, stupid. There's one still alive underneath them bodies.
Yeah.
Who's the commanding officer here?
Ain't you?
Ain't you? You think it's so bad, huh? Got something for your ass down, nigga! Got something for you now!
And this guy, Lance, the surfer, he's like tripping on acid too, so he has no idea what danger he's about to get plucked by a sniper. And Sheens catches us, sees him.
The bodies, man! Go get the roach, man. Go get the roach, man. Go get the roach, nigga! We're gonna go get the roach. Go get him.
Go get him.
Roach! Roach! Roach!
Got slopes on the wire, man. You hear him?
Lance!
Do you hear him?
Well, yeah, what do you want?
Well, bust it.
know, it's funny. Even in the movie theater, I couldn't hear him say that. But he's saying, "Hey, GI, F you."
Get him out there on the wire, man.
GI.
Yeah. You need a flare? No. He's close, man. He's real close.
Yep, gonna get that bobblehead. What is that? An M68?
Well, I had that gun in Iraq, man.
Yeah, I was gonna
That one
say
right
you
there,
know
I
those.
had that one.
Yeah. Well, what's that one called, Abe?
It's like an M73 or something like that. It's this like little grenade launcher, kind of shotgun thing, and it's pretty cool.
Well, is it good? Okay, tell us how realistic the boom is.
Oh, it's an M79.
79.
I was close.
Uh-huh.
M79 grenade launcher.
I guess it's not that loud. It's pretty quiet.
Motherfucker.
Hey, soldier. Do you know who's in command here?
Who's that calling in? Blowing my line here.
Yeah.
There you go. Yeah. Yeah, Aaron, do you know who's in command?
I do not know. I have no idea who's in command. I don't even know. No.
Well, considering that guy just fired an M79 and blew somebody into
He's in command
smithereens,
now?
I think that guy just fired the M79's in command. And so when
Sounds right.
Willard asked him the question, it took me years to figure this out. When Willard asked him the question, do you know who's in command here? And the guy sort of looks back and says, yeah. It's like, yeah, I'm a bad motherfucker. Yeah, it's me now. You talking to me. It's like, that's probably how, I'm thinking that's how that went
He's
down.
like, I'm the captain now. Look at me.
Yeah.
Look at me.
Exactly.
I'm the captain now. Yeah. Yeah,
There's-
well.
There's Dorothy D.
That's a little bit closer to the Mets story right now. A little bit closer.
Dorothy, you look wonderful.
I'm just gonna stay here and not see you guys.
Oh,
I'm
what a
just gonna put it
That
on
sucked.
YouTube.
Well, you can.
I
You,
can
you
see
can
it.
watch yourself. You can watch us on YouTube.
Yeah, I restarted my internet and everything. I don't know what the deal is.
Oh, well.
But anyway, it's fine.
Well, here we are, the ChabDog show with it wouldn't be a show without a technical difficulty on someone's end somewhere. So.
I'll just stare at myself.
Sure. No, you can watch. Yeah.
I'm sad I don't get to see Abe's lovely face.
Well, tune us in on the YouTube on your laptop.
I will.
Yeah, there we go. Then you'll see everything. You'll see because you got to see that Javier Beraz's bare ass. when we
And
get to
look
that
at my
part.
shirt. Hey.
Oh yeah, there we go. So you wore it especially for
Baez.
that. Baez, nice.
It's my Detroit Tiger purchase of the year. It just arrived last week.
You're kind of a really nice Tigers fan.
Thank you.
You've changed my perception about Tigers.
Yay.
Oh, totally.
They never hurt anyone.
Exactly.
Lions really haven't.
You're so
No,
Not lately.
yeah, they really haven't heard
You're
anybody.
a fun fan. That's what I like.
Yay. Most of us are.
Yeah, it's just those few. that spoil it for the rest, right?
I
Is that
keep
what we're
thinking
talking
about
about?
you with
What you doing, man?
every time like Justin Verlander moves around,
Talking
I
about-
always
what
think about you because
Oh my gosh.
you played
I've been
for
getting a
Detroit.
lot of texts this
Yeah,
week.
he was with the Detroit. I mean, speaking about the Mets fire sale, I mean, of course, Justin Verlander was part of this this deal, and he ended up back with the Houston Astros. So, it's weird. That was
Freaking
like he was there, and then he came to the Mets, and now he's back with the Astros.
Mhm.
That was a very interesting combination. But I think what was really cool is that he was really nice about it, in saying that, he enjoyed his time with the Mets and he enjoyed the fan base, and he really left without having to say anything negative about the Mets, and just kind of really a classy exit for him. I think most Mets fans understand that, this was a push from management, that they wanted to now focus on getting prospects. And I think, they probably asked Verlander to, waive his no trade clause so that, they could move on with, what they were trying to do. And I think Justin Verlander, being a team player, said, sure, no problem. And
What you talking about, Willis?
and now
That's
he's
what he
going
should
to
have
the
said.
Astros.
That's what he should have said.
Yeah. Yeah. I thought that was hilarious how those two both, the old Detroit grandpas.
Here we go. They got rid of the grandpas. I mean, Max Scherzer, he wasn't like, super amazing or anything. And, he's, I'm glad he's gone. For me personally, I think it's great that Max Scherzer is out. I think what they really need is some really new pitching.
The problem is they don't have any young pitching in the system. They got all these hitting prospects, guys that hopefully they'll fill out the lineup in a couple of years, but they don't have any young pitching, so they need to rebuild the pitching with free agents. So they already tried that. It didn't work. It's probably going to work out the same as it did with Scherzer and Verlander. Maybe they won't get 40-year-old pitchers this time, but they'll get 30-year-old guys who've been up and down, and maybe they've had Tommy John surgery already, and it's going to be one guy maybe has a good year, but the other guy stinks. I don't know. Yeah. It's a good thing that Senga looks like he's going to work out, because they need something that's stable at the top of the rotation. Yeah. But without Verlander next year, they're just going to have to take a chance on a bunch of free agents to try to fill this thing out.
Chance.
The agony of defeat.
Yeah, I mean, one big one will be Shohei Ohtani.
No chance.
He ain't playing for the Mets. Come on.
Diane ain't much of a living, boy.
Well, he's a pitcher, but he's going to be a lot. Let's see who else.
English, motherfucker!
Julio Urias from the Dodgers will be available.
Ooh.
Urias would be good.
He'd be good.
Max Scherzer gets back on. We can buy him back. You can buy him back. Aaron Nola from the Philadelphia Phillies.
No, Scherzer bought back in. Scherzer, when he got traded, he signed his option for next year. So Scherzer is signed with Texas for 2020.
Help is on the way.
So Julio,
unfortunately, they won't be able to run that back. Yeah.
You got him, Aaron Nola.
That would be something if they're able to sign the Phillies' best pitcher, but I think the Phillies are going to shell out the money for him. But that'd be something. The Mets could get him away.
How about Luis Severino for the New York Yankees?
He has an ERA above 7 right now.
Yeah, that's Blake Snell from the San Diego.
Blake Snell's having a good season. That scares me a little, because they're going to have to pay him for this season when he hasn't been the most consistent guy. I could see him being a disaster in New York, but yeah, they could take a chance. He's someone who, if the best outcome happens, he could be an ace for you.
You also have another grandpa. Here's a grandpa, Clayton Kershaw.
Kershaw, whenever he's like hurt every year now, but when he's on the hill, he's been very good.
That's the joke.
So,
yeah,
terrible.
He's good when they don't need him. He can't win games anymore.
You just need to have a contingency plan, because he's always down for a few weeks every season.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
In October.
Lucas Giolito from the Chicago White Sox.
Pure energy.
Available.
Well, he was just traded to your team.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, he was, but I guess he's free. Let's see. Oh, Hunter Renfroe. LA Angels. He's not a pitcher, though. Frankie Montas.
Question.
From the New York Yankees.
Oh my good, Montas was a disaster for the Yankees.
Oh,
Jack
okay. And speaking of the Yankees, the season is so bad for New York that Domingo German, he just goes full into it and says, you know what, I'm going to abuse substances. I'm going to drink Drano. other types of
Yeah, that's
other types
wild.
of
You have to
products
wonder
here,
if he
along
was
with,
on
like,
anything.
vodka.
If it was like a Doc Ellis situation where he was on drugs during his perfect game.
Yeah.
That's the first thing I thought of.
Poor guy.
Yeah, the Detroit Tigers are giving Eduardo Rodriguez from
Yes.
the Detroit Tigers is a free agent.
Oh,
That
yeah,
was our-
after he decided he didn't want to go to the Dodgers. How about that? Showing some loyalty to Detroit, but also screwing them over because they couldn't get any prospects for him. But he's been pretty good. He's been pretty good. He's someone I would look at.
Mm.
Yeah,
Yes.
I mean, free agency, there's some options there. I mean, it's not going to be, there will be a little bit of a market, a few folks to pick from. So I was curious to see what moves, Billy Epler and the gang are going to make over there in New York. So that's going to be interesting. Yeah. The Angels did okay. I mean, I'm not going to say that was the best choices, but they got a little bit improving their risk a little bit with some folks from the Rockies. And, of course, the biggest thing was they didn't give up Ohtani. So they probably missed out on a whole bunch of prospects for that team. But I think they're going to try to go for, a wild card spot. But the way they've been playing against the Mariners has not been very good.
Yeah, no.
So,
No, they're having that first Estevez blowing his first save of the season on that grand slam was just brutal. I mean, the Angels just ripping your hearts out. It's gotta be driving you crazy.
Yeah.
Oh, Estevez. I mean, that was not the night to take a dump, especially after Shohei Ohtani, homered. I mean, that was not good.
That was embarrassing.
That was not good. And yeah. So we're there, and I think we're in a better spot than the Mets, which is weird. We never really talk about the Angels being in a better spot than the New York Mets, especially.
No, we don't.
But in the immediate future, you're in a better spot. But in a couple months, if you don't make the playoffs and Ohtani leaves, then the Mets at least got prospects. The Angels are in a worse spot. But that's the risk they took.
Yeah.
I respect the risk they took because if Ohtani leaves, they're going to stink anyway. So I think going for it is a good decision, even though they're getting a lot of heat for it.
Yeah, I mean the thing is like it's Ohtani. He's like a player of a century. You don't see these kind of guys, and you want to hold on to them as long as you can. I'm sure the Red Sox would want to hold on to Babe Ruth a little bit longer if they could do it all over again. And I think the Angels did well in at least keeping him all the way to the end, to the finish line. I like that. But we'll see. I like Luis Angel Acuna for the Mets. He's a great prospect. Looks like he's doing great things. I think is he in triple? No, he's in double A.
He's in double A. I'm actually going to see them. I'm going to be because the Yankees double A team plays about 20 minutes from here, and I'm going to the game on Friday night between them and Binghamton, which is the Mets double A team. So I'm going to see some of those kids. Last year I saw Brett Beatty, and Alvarez was in triple A at that point. So I saw Brett Beatty with Binghamton, and I thought he was the next big thing. And he's really good. He was really good in the minor leagues. Hasn't been great in the major leagues. But I will be seeing the Mets kids soon, so that's going to be cool.
I am going Tuesday or Monday to the Angels-Giants game.
Oh, there we go.
Get
to see Ohtani in person.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, because I'm coming back to Cali. So yes. Today's my last day here in Nashville. Okay. But yeah. So if anyone wants to join me, you are welcome to come.
All right. Dorothy Dawn will be... Dorothy, I had a question for you from one of our listeners.
Yes.
And she asked, how do you get to SoFi Stadium? Like, how do you get in there and out of there? How did you get in and out of there?
Last time I parked in the stadium.
You parked in the stadium? For how much?
It wasn't too bad. I think people make it worse than it is.
How much was the parking?
I don't know, but I will tell you this. I do have a new friend that lives in Inglewood.
Dorothy. how much? You don't remember how much the parking would cost?
I said $80.
Oh, 80. Sorry. Okay, $80. Thank you for clarifying that. So for $80,
no worries.
So you paid so you just paid the freight. You just that's that. But then you were able to drive in, drive out, no problem, no hassle.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't pay it, but
okay.
I paid for the tickets. I paid for the tickets, FYI.
Okay.
So that was JP's birthday present.
Yes.
But surprise.
JP is definitely on the hook for parking then.
Yeah.
I think his friend paid for it, but
that was in November.
Yeah, he's played
you
for
two
the
share the
Buffs,
same birthday.
Colorado Buffs.
You two share the same birthday, right?
$80 is still ridiculous, but
yeah. Well, I have a friend that lives in Inglewood, walking distance, so I have the hookup now. So if you want the hookup, I can share it with you.
Okay, that's what we were looking for. I think the question was more related. They thought you had an in, and that you didn't pay $80.
I do now.
So you do now. Okay,
and
so
I'm kind of looking into buying over in that area because you could make a nice penny charging people to park there in your parking in your driveway for the games, and the Olympics are coming.
Oh, we had one more question from another listener. Have you ever been a brunette? Yeah, you, Dorothy Dunn. Have you ever been a brunette?
Oh, no. This is about as close as it gets.
Okay. So that answers that question. That's it for questions now on ChabDog Sports Talk. I was going to try something. It's too bad you can't. Maybe Dorothy, you'll be able to see it on. Well, if you tune into YouTube, since you can't see the screen, because I have a little.
Oh, I'm watching on YouTube.
Okay, perfect. Because I have a little. Oh yeah, perfect. Yeah, you'll see it better over there.
I see your handsome face.
Oh, let me go to share screen here. Let's get back to where we were here. So while everybody's watching here, this is how I'm trying to share the screen here because I've got the Pro Bowl was just played. Who watched the Pro Bowl this week? Anybody? Bueller?
We see the Jets.
What?
The Jets?
Oh, the Hall of Fame game. The Hall of Fame game.
I keep calling it the Pro Bowl. Thank you. Hall of Fame game. Yeah, just give me a shake.
Slightly more meaningful than the Pro Bowl, because the Pro Bowl is not even a game anymore.
No. So let's.
Oh, there you are.
So speaking of the Pro Bowl, but then I started in looking for those photographs. I started looking at places I used to live, and I thought I want to do the same thing because that Pro Bowl shots Hall of Fame game shots from 12 years ago. So here's a little new segment for the show. Here's where Eric's former front doors. So this is outside my front door in Denver on 16th Street, 16th and Glenarm. This is what it used to look like with a little bit of snow on the ground. And that's inside my front door. That's a brown bear from Montana.
Oh, cool.
Whoa.
And now people who lived in my building, we had our own private elevator down to this bar here that was part of an Earl's restaurant there.
We're talking. Look at that.
So that's my bar. And that's
Very
the view
cool.
of the Front Range from it was a combination of an office suite.
Nice.
It was our mining company. That was our office
That's
there
beautiful.
in Denver. Yeah. So there's the Front Range there. There's you sort of see, well, you can see the Front Range better than you can see the furniture, but there's my desk and chair and stuff there. And then there's the view. Yeah, remember Quest Communications? They used to have their headquarters there in Denver.
Mm-hmm.
And there's a view of the sunset.
A beautiful sunset.
Oh, yeah, Denver. The sunsets on the Front Range were gorgeous. And then that's a 10.5 ounce bar of gold that we poured from the property in Montana. And that's the property of Montana in snow. That was my place there. That was my cabin, and I had a Wagoneer, one of the Wagoneers I had right there. And there's the kind of humor that people in Montana have. Yeah, ha ha ha. There's a place without snow. Looks a little bit better. There's with snow again. Yeah, we got lots of it in Montana. I think there's only 1 month of the year it never snowed, which was July. Every other month of the year there's some form of snow. Here's another place I live. This is the West Vancouver place, and that's the view it had. So when we saw Two for the Money, that's the waterway they were looking at just a little further down. In fact, that's the house right there across the way. In between the trees is where they shot the movie from. And there's a ferry coming in. And there's a view of the snow-capped mountains off in the distance one nice day. And there's the Wagoneer I had in Vancouver with the wood paneling. So 2 of those. Okay, so here's the Hall of Fame game. This is the Hall of Fame game from 2011. So I think, this stadium it's a high school stadium. You can't get beer in it. It kind of sucks. And I think that's Drew Brees.
No beer, geez.
Yeah, you can't. There's no alcohol in it. It's like you gotta get sauced in the parking lot, which is fine.
It's kind of nice to actually not get drunk before a game and pay attention. I've noticed.
That's overrated.
Says dietitian Dorothy.
It depends on what team you root for.
Yeah. There we are. So for those who've seen the entrance to the Hall of Fame, that's what it looks like with the bronze statues there. That's my...
yeah, I've been back since I was about 10 years old.
My lady friend
dug up some pictures
of the time there taking pictures for me. And there she's saying, hi. Hey, Michelle. That was a nice 5 years. And, and then anybody, Dorothy, do you recognize that? It's a trick question.
No.
It's GM headquarters in Detroit. Okay.
The GM headquarters, right?
And when for that year in 2015, when I lived there in the Detroit area, that's the building I was in, built in 1917.
Okay, I see.
The view we had from the building right across the river from the Detroit, from the GM Center.
So neat.
That's the view from my living room window.
Awesome.
Yeah. And it would flash at night. And then just down the street, like literally down the street in my neighborhood, there's this distillery here, the Hiram Walker Distillery. This is a distillery. And that's the grounds of the distillery. And there's Detroit, because alcohol production wasn't banned in Canada during the Prohibition. So they shipped it all over the river.
Wow.
Oh, yeah, I bet. Yeah.
So it made a ton of money. So it made Windsor and parts of Canada extremely wealthy from profiting off of Americans' thirsts. I know. Oh, well, so there's my slideshow. But over here, I did promise to show you this.
I enjoyed that. I think I've seen some of those photos.
I might have shown you a couple of them.
Uh-huh.
Here's what I was talking about a couple weeks ago.
Especially the snowy.
See this number 8?
Double play by Pete Alonso.
Yeah. That's what Sauce Gardner gave and the team gave to Aaron Rodgers upon his arrival as a Jet. Isn't that pretty?
Oh, wow.
You got to put it. Yeah, he's gonna have the ceremony.
Fancy, bougie.
Oh, you can iced out.
Oh well. Oh, here's something fun. Check this out.
Weather alert here through the evening with that wind chill warning. Want to make sure we take this cold.
Now I'm not sure. I don't think if you're black, you can do whiteface. But this guy's really trying really hard. If you look at his palms, and I think this makeup. I think it's just a makeup failure here. But I was struck by that, and I was struck by just in this summer here where we're having these record hot temperatures, just seeing a time when it was cold.
Seriously,
yeah,
single-digit temperatures, cooling back to near 0 by 9 o'clock. They're the wind chill numbers. This is what it'll actually feel like. So make sure the pets, they need to come in tonight. They need to be somewhere where it is warm, where
leave
it's
them
dry.
outside. They'll be fine.
Because these wind chill numbers, they'll hang out between 10 below and 20 below through the evening hours, getting even colder than that after midnight into our Sunday morning. Here are actual low temperatures heading into early Sunday.
Yeah, and this is another reason why we don't live in Kansas. Sorry. In the state of Kansas or Missouri or anywhere over there, because it gets really, really cold sometimes. Ooh. Get some stuff showing up back here. Okay, back to the... Oh, where'd you guys go? Let's fix that there. Let's kill the slideshow and go back to... Oh, wrong way. Missing the co-hosts. And there we go. Cancel. And back to co-hosts. There we go. Dancing boxes of death. Aaron, back to Aaron. How are things in the Mad Dog world this week of broadcasting, Aaron?
A lot going on. Covering the, we got to cover the U.S. women having a disaster against Sweden this morning, so that was good because
you guys were on that. Okay,
going on Sunday morning.
Perfect. What a perfect segue into that. So we don't have to be tortured and have to talk about or watch the women's our national soccer team anymore because they were eliminated this morning in the 16th round, right? Like way out.
Round of 16.
Yeah.
So that is the first knockout round.
Oh, okay. There we go. So in the first knockout, first place they could exit, and now was Reagan rapping the hoe, smiling as she missed?
Megan Rapinoe.
Thank you. Yeah, you say it better than I do. Are we making a mountain out of a molehill? Are these women perfectly fine? Was their behavior there perfectly fine? Standing quiet for the anthem, but at least standing for the flag. Was everything fine and they just got outplayed, or is this some Freudian? Is any Freudian shorta worthy here? What do you think, Aaron?
No, there are a lot of people on Twitter who are happy they lost. I mean, I've rooted for enough athletes that I can't stand that I can separate. I can root for laundry. You root for the team. Even if the players, they maybe drive you crazy sometimes. It's like Javier Baez with the Mets 2 years ago, where he was just booing the fans. He said thumbs down to the fans. So you still root for the Mets. So even though you might disagree with Megan Rapinoe, and she might be one of the most obnoxious women, not just obnoxious women, obnoxious athletes on the planet, you still root for Team USA. It was still really disappointing to see them lose. And there was the whole thing with Carly Lloyd. I think she did a great job. You don't expect these players who used to be with the team to be so brutally honest with them. You expect them to sugarcoat things these days, and she did not do that when they had to draw against Portugal, which is the last match in the group stage. So now that's 2 straight matches now they have not scored a goal, which is ridiculous. They're the number one team in the world. They're the favorite to win the tournament, and they went 2 straight matches without a goal, and the second time they got eliminated because it went to penalty kicks, and they were up 4-3 on penalty kicks. And then Rapinoe, who's the great veteran, supposed to have ice water in her veins, she hits it over the bar. And then Sophia Smith, the great young star, who I think only scored once against, she scored twice against Vietnam, but they stink. And then she didn't score after that. And then she puts it over the bar, and they let Sweden back into it. And then, of course, the last goal where it barely gets over the line is just painful. I thought the goalie, Alyssa Nader, did a good job. So yeah, some of the players are annoying. The whole social justice thing is annoying with them. Either they're kneeling for the flag, they're not singing, and all these other countries are being very patriotic, and they look like they actually enjoy living in their countries. So that part was annoying. But I'm still rooting for the U.S.
Thank you.
And it's easy
Thank you.
Yeah.
That's
I'm still rooting for the U.S. and it sucked. It sucked that they lost, and hopefully they get some of these older players that leave. A couple of players announced their retirement with Rapinoe and with Ertz.
Yes,
they're leaving, so hopefully get these young stars grow up, like the Sophia Smith, and some of the other young players grow up. And next time we actually kick some ass in this tournament, like we're supposed to. Instead of they scored 1 goal in their last 3 games, it was pathetic, and of course the media is still going to sugarcoat it, and Joe Biden's going to tweet out that they had an incredible run. He literally said the president of the country said they had an incredible run. It was their earliest exit ever from the World Cup. Earliest exit ever. They make it to the semifinal every year.
Competition was so good. He's going to invite them to the White House. You just see. They're coming to the White House.
He probably will. Be unbelievable.
Yeah. Participation ribbons. But Aaron, let me compliment you though. I could have just sat here and trashed them all morning. You were extremely diplomatic. In fact, you were the adult in the room. I want to thank you for saying positive things and putting our heads back. Yeah, this is an American team. We got to support them whether you like them or not. They're still on my team.
I'm like, if people want to just root for them to lose because of their politics, they can do that. But I know all the teams I root for, there's me players who I don't agree with. So
bigger than that.
I gotten used to it. I'm a sports fan. I'm used to rooting for the laundry. I'm like, okay, I'm not going to like everyone. So I just root for the laundry, and you're not going to like every player on the team. And not every player on the team is going to be your best friend.
Not everyone's going to be a Wade
That's the good thing about sports. Everyone's wearing the same uniform and waving the flag, and then you just get incredibly disappointed, and it's terrible.
You mentioned the magic words Javier Baez, and I promised Dorothy that we'd show her Javier Baez. So Dorothy, here's
There he
Javier
is.
Baez. It's under Section 107 fair use because this guy has a cute behind.
That's not why I like him, FYI.
No?
That's why we like him.
Okay,
You're going to
Dorothy.
get me in trouble. Yes.
Look at that.
So it's not because of that behind. That's a good-looking behind. I mean,
like that.
see that's next to the
He's
one
a great-looking player. He just can't hit the ball. He's got that phenomenal athletic body.
Oh, look at that. He's like Adonis. He's like a Greek god. Oh, my goodness.
He's one of the great athletes. He's one of the great athletes. He plays, or at least he used to play a great shortstop. Now he's kind of washed up defensively, but
wow, with a body
doing
like
pretty
that,
good. Just his throws are a little off sometimes.
Yeah, the throws. So
lately,
he's an incredibly exciting defensive player.
Yeah. I am going to do a thing on his diet one week. I've already researched it. You know, he is one that has to watch it. That's how he has amazing curves. Usually people that have to watch it do have nice curves. So it's not like he's el natural, you know, like he has to make sure, you know, he's not overdoing it with food.
Is that something, is that his glove or is that something coming up below his glove there? Can you see?
I don't know. I'm gonna get
to study this tape carefully. Oh no, that's just his glove. Yeah, there he goes. Now is that his? Look at the way he holds his bat.
I just like him as a player. I didn't. Honest to gosh, I was not trying to start any riff within my relationship, but my boyfriend did not appreciate this.
Oh,
when I downloaded these.
Okay, yeah. Well, we're showing them for all the other women. There's other women who watch this show, and they actually get they're getting off on this right now. So yeah, Dorothy, you're not. I'm glad we clarified that. Yeah, this is and to JP.
I mean, it's public knowledge. It's not like it's porn. It's an ESPN show or a ESPN magazine.
Yeah, exactly, Dorothy. Yeah.
It's not like it's hidden on my camera in my private folder. It was right there, out there on the stands. Okay, it's different.
Dorothy, just
100%.
Quit digging.
Thank you.
I think it's cute, and I like the human body, and male, female. I just like good human bodies. I don't care who you are, transsexual. I don't care. Whatever you identify yourself as. If you got a good looking body, to my view, I want to see it.
Yeah, I never appreciated him until he was a tiger.
It looks good.
He looked better when you were a tiger. Yeah.
Well, but, speaking of the Women's World Cup, Spain is still in it. That's another country I pull for, of course.
Uh-huh.
So even though the U.S.
Yeah, maybe I'll pick them up. I need to pick up somebody. I don't know.
I'm going with Spain. They just slaughtered Switzerland 5-1.
Well, Canada's out.
That's
so
good.
They're gone.
That's good. So I think Spain's gonna show up on this one.
Mm-hmm.
So I'd like to see Spain in the finals.
Let's see what Sergeant Slaughter has to say. Oh,
keep up on that one. What else is going on?
Your finest champagne.
Fuck that shit.
All right. That's what
that brings back memories.
Yeah. Oh, and we did say we were going to do some tributes to Paul Reubens, who's Pee Wee Herman. You kids know who Pee Wee Herman is.
Watch that
right?
every Saturday. Oh my God! I don't know why I was so infatuated with that show when I was a kid.
So, the Paul Reubens
I think it was his haircut. It was like, damn it, Pee Wee has like the best haircut in the world.
Mm-hmm. So the Paul Reubens story began in 1980 when he was first cast in a movie, and the first movie he was cast in is this one, which we're playing under Section 107 fair use. You see the waiter?
Oh, yeah.
That's Pee Wee Herman.
He's got the Pee Wee.
And
Finest champagne.
5 shrimp cocktails and some bread for my brother.
We have a Dom Perignon 71 at $120.
Wow. Hear that? Dom Perignon 71 at $120. What a great line.
That'll be fun.
You see the way he walks disdainfully away? He says, that'll be fine. So he turns his head down, walks away.
Like Aaron's hair. Perfect.
Come on.
Okay, here
good hair.
Again.
No way. We're on a mission from God.
There he is. He's serving shrimp cocktail now.
Hold it, hold it. What's this?
Waiter, sir, please. Waiter.
There's the whole staff serving there. There's Pee Wee bringing over. What's that? Oh, here comes the champagne. Let's bring the ice bucket over. And there's a small yay. Wrong glass. I play the rest of the scene, but that's our purpose of playing this isn't to get the ear of these guys for copyright. It's just I wanted to show Pee Wee Herman there. So that's his first. For those of you, there's gonna be everyone's gonna be showing Pee Wee this week, and I want to show Herman's or Paul Reubens before that as he was just getting going. So here's his second portrayal on screen. Was this? And this is actually the first time the Pee Wee character appeared on screen. Is here.
Your friend, Mr. Pee Wee Herman.
And this came out a few months after Blues Brothers.
Yes, let's hear it for him.
Hi, everybody. My name's Pee Wee. What's yours? I'm talking to the cops right now.
So it's Cheech and Chong's next movie. So of course they made Up in Smoke in 1978, and it just I don't know, they spent $1 million on it or something, which seemed like a lot of money at the time, and it grossed 10 or 12, like made a massive, made 20 times back or 15 times back its initial investment. No, I think it was 40 million actually. It was a stupid amount of money. So of course they got greenlit to make part 2, and part 2 is never as good as part 1, but it was still funny, and it was Paul Reubens in this, and here he is some more. So he is playing a desk clerk.
Oh, thank you very much, ma'am.
Tell me what room Dwayne Mendoza's in?
Yeah, I could tell you. Yes. This is the real thing this time. Come on, please. There's 2 crazies in here tearing up the place.
Excuse me, sir.
Yeah, what do you want?
Why don't you give him his luggage, man?
Because he owes $262.50, and in another 5 minutes, there'll be an additional $37.50. I already told you where we're located.
There's that trademark.
What are they doing, walking over here? Why don't you forget life?
Hey, listen, you
let
little...
go of me!
Hey, give him his fucking luggage, you little
Why don't you let go of me? I know you are, but what am I?
Yeah.
And there's his trademark, I know what you are. There it is.
Got him.
Look, I think they're Iranians. Hey, let me go, I'll call the cops. Does it make you feel like a big man and beat people up? All right, I'm gonna call the cops. Okay, thank you very much.
Now watch it. Okay, this is great. And then the cops, comes out and he's all blithering like an idiot, so the cops think he's the problem. And so they grab him.
Go, you fucking asshole! Attica!
Attica!
Attica, I'm fragile!
Back then, that was customer service. And that was totally acceptable.
Oh, the police were touching. Everyone yelled Attica after Al Pacino did it.
Fucking moron!
Oh,
okay,
I'm in.
Hey, you see those 2 guys over there? I need you to kill them for me. They've had me put in jail today. You 2 look a little familiar to me.
Oh, you smell familiar.
Yeah. It's 2 guys right there on stage. Hey, think you're big stuff? Why don't you come up here and try this out? I'm the comedian. I'll tell the jokes, okay, if you don't mind. Think you're so funny? Why don't you come up here and do an act?
He's all upset. He's getting more laughs than him.
Hey, here! Stop the show! That's the guy right there! Kill him! Get him, Thumbelina!
Oh boy.
You belong here, buddy. Now that's the woman, boy. I could keep warm on winter with that one.
She's going to be a Pee Wee. She's got Pee Wee in it.
Sorry, I can't leave the door.
It was very entertaining.
Hey, you!
So that's.
I would pay to see that show. That was just funny.
That was good. And then there's let's see how our time's going here. Oh yeah, we got a few more minutes here before the break. And there's one more. This is the next movie. What's this? No. Let's go to the next one after this.
I'm so sorry.
This one.
Boys, there's been a...
So then they make more money with that next movie. They have to make another movie called Nice Dreams. So the third movie is always worse than the first two.
terrible mistake. Howie is going to say something to you, aren't you, Howie? I'm going to get you out of this as quickly as possible. Howie, now say, come on now, say your little thing.
I'm sorry I took the money.
That's it.
I'm sorry I took the money. I'm sorry! I'm sorry!
That's enough, Howie. That's enough, dear.
I'm
That's
awfully
just fine.
sorry.
That's
So
fine.
they're in a mental hospital right there, and they think. Well, they all got thrown in there, but they all thought he was sane, but he obviously is not. He was in a mental hospital. They used to have mental hospitals back then. Let me just switch the camera view here so we can all watch it together. Yeah, let's go here. There we go.
Boys, all the money is here. Come along, Howie.
Sorry.
And I just want to
Sorry.
apologize to you again, tell you how sorry I am
terribly
about
sorry.
the mistake. And if there's
sorry.
anything at all I can do for you, please don't hesitate to ask. Come along, Howie.
Sorry.
It's time for your lobotomy.
Here it comes.
I'm not sorry I took the money.
Yeah, that's a meme if I've ever seen one. And then not to be. Yeah.
Future of rock and roll anyway, huh? Future of rock and roll. Bruce
Yeah.
Springsteen.
Yeah.
Fucking it all up.
Yeah. Hey, can we have a check?
Hey.
Yeah.
Bruce Springsteen's fucking the whole thing up.
Blow on his nose.
No way.
No way.
Yeah. See, do you got any of that for sale? Yeah? For sale? Want to sell some of that? Huh?
Sell seashells.
Okay. Here's one more time before he does Pee Wee. This is freaky. That's spooky. Imagine you wake up and there's like all these people around you like this. And you're just hungover. Look at that guy up in the left corner. Yeah, he's swinging on that swing.
Come on, man, let's get out of here.
He's shorter than Blitz.
You don't have to shave my
Oh, there he is.
Hey, it's a dude, hey! Hey, hamburger dude!
Hey, remember me?
You remember us?
I met you in Chinatown.
Bid you shalom.
Hey, listen,
Hey, remember the check we gave you? Well, it was a mistake. We shouldn't have given you the check, man. And we gotta take the money back. Thank God we found him, man.
yeah. Money's gone.
What?
Money's gone.
Uh-oh.
Hey, hamburger dude! Hey, hamburger dude, wait up! Hey, man!
Hey, get him, man. I'll go around the back.
We gotta have our money back,
I'm
man.
first to get my medication. I'm first for everything.
Hey, man, hey, look, there was a mistake made, man. Well, you shouldn't have got that money. He
No.
wasn't supposed to. Hey, man, I ain't bullshitting with you.
Hey.
Hey, man, give me my money back, man. I ain't bullshitting with you, man. He's got our money. He's got our money.
All right. So there's the great Paul Reubens there. May you rest in. We got some more clips we're going to play after, but geez, we already hit the break already. We're an hour into it, guys. So with that,
Time
we'll
flies
come
when
back
you're
and we got
having
some-
fun. With
great commercials lined up here. And then we're going to come out and do some Speed Racer. I believe I got the sole point last week, didn't I, Abe?
You got the sole point.
Oh, I love it when I'm right.
You got Martin Truex Jr.
Yeah, with Martin Truex Jr. coming in 7th, I believe. So let's see. I'm going to.
We were all a little off. We were all a little off last week, but hey, you walk away with the point. Can't wait.
All right. Well, with that, I'm going to celebrate with a commercial here for Skechers for dogs. So, all right, see you back in a few minutes.
What is the favorite silver prince?
With a late entry named Mr. Quigley.
Is he wearing running shoes?
It is legal, I believe. And they're off. It's Queen's Hurricane out front. Silver Prince on his heels. But wait, Mr. Quigley is coming around the outside. Look at that little guy go. It's gonna be Quigley! What?
Let's do it.
He's walking across the finish line.
The new Midfoot Strike Skechers Go Run. Go like never before.
What do you mean you want a new contract?
This is the
bad motherfucker
card from Capital One. It's not the mushroom cloud laying motherfucker card. Not the
English motherfucker, do you speak it?
card. It's the
Ezekiel 25:17. Royale with cheese. Dead as fucking fried chicken. Go back in there, chill them niggas out.
cashback card. This is the
Bad motherfucker.
cashback card from Capital One. Unlimited 1.5% cash back on every motherfucking purchase, every motherfucking wear, every motherfucking day.
I better use the Capital
I don't
One
remember
purchasing racer to
asking you
redeem
a
my venture
goddamn
miles on the
thing.
strip.
Now tell me, what's in your wallet?
Motherfucker.
Mike, come on!
Mike, what is your deal, man?
Come on, man. You've been riding me all day.
Mike, you're playing like Betty White out there.
That's not what your girlfriend said.
Baby.
Whoa,
That's
not quite.
Eat Snickers. Better?
Better.
I'm all bet!
That hurt. You're not you when you're hungry. Snickers satisfies.
Miss Capelli?
Yes, I'd like to be on a commercial.
And what will you be advertising?
GoDaddy.com. Oh my gosh. It's a website where you can register .com names for only $7.95 a year.
And what exactly will you be doing on this commercial?
I could do a routine where I went like this.
Oh. Surely by now you must realize that you're upsetting the committee.
I'm sorry. I didn't mean to upset the committee.
May I suggest a turtleneck?
It doesn't matter what comes, fresh goes better in life. With Mentos fresh and full of life, nothing gets to you. Staying fresh, staying cool. With Mentos fresh and full of life, fresh goes better. Mentos fresh, fresh goes better with Mentos fresh and full of life.
Mentos, the fresh maker.
Thank you for calling USA Prime Credit.
This is the last Grossman. Who is this?
My name is Peggy.
Oh, okay. Fuckface. First, take a big step back and literally fuck your own face! I will rain down an ungodly fucking firestorm upon you.
Yes?
You're gonna have to call the fucking United Nations and get a fucking binding resolution to keep me from fucking destroying you. I am talking scorched earth, motherfucker! I will massacre you! I will fuck you up!
Switch to Discover. Ranked #1 in customer loyalty. It pays to discover.
I'm Rafael Septien. It's great being the place kicker for the Dallas Cowboys. And it's also great to know that the reason I had this job is because of my ability and not because of my national origin.
As president of the Dallas Cowboys, I know that employment decisions must be based upon performance. That's what's made us successful. Discrimination based on race, color, religion, sex, age, or national origin is not the answer. Everyone should have an equal chance to compete.
New from Family Games, I Want to Be a Union Boss. Force employees to pay dues.
You owe me union dues. This game stinks.
You can call a strike without a secret vote. Embezzle member dues. But watch out.
You've been indicted.
Kids, you can be the union boss. Spend force dues on politicians and eliminate the right to vote. Forcing you into a union is not a game. Find out more at unionfacts.com.
It's great to be the union boss.
Formation business law is essentially the rules and regulations relating to getting your entity set up correctly and functioning the way it should to give you the limited liability protections and taxation benefits and other benefits under the law that those entities enjoy vis-a-vis sole proprietorship. If somebody hasn't really been schooled in this, they're liable to miss some steps, do things fast and quick just to get the articles filed and not pay attention to any of the corporate formalities that go along with it. So you want an experienced business attorney to walk you through that process. In California, there's a number of different structures you could use. Most of the time I see people setting up either limited liability companies or corporations. You can have a C corporation or an S corporation. They have different taxation related consequences. If you're doing sort of a broad-based offering of your stock, then and thinking about going public, then you probably want to do a corporation. Limited liability companies often work for friends and family type situations. If you own part of an LLC, you're going to own a membership interest or a unit. If you own a part of an equity interest in a corporation, you're going to own shares.
It's Darth Vader, watch out! And he's got a lightsaber.
It's Kenner's Star Wars action figures, each sold separately.
I got you now, Ben Kenobi.
With R2-D2 and C-3PO. There's even Chewbacca and Han Solo.
Someone's coming, Chewie. Who's there? It's Princess Leia and Luke Skywalker. Now I know the Force is with us.
Darth Vader, R2-D2, C-3PO, and other Kenner Star Wars action figures, each sold separately.
So my name is Eric Sauve. I'm a paralegal with the law firm of Brandon S. Chabner, and as a paralegal, I support Brandon Chabner, the attorney of the firm. Primarily when it comes to trust, it's very important that trust document reflect the wishes of those that put it together. The trust is your instructions as to how you want your estate distributed and the instructions you're giving to your trustee to do that. A power of attorney allows a trusted person to take on your affairs while you're incapacitated. And in the state of California, if your estate is less than $165,000, then you don't need to have a trust. You can simply distribute those through a will. We just want to get this completed, make sure your wishes are taken care of, so the state of California is not in there taking their piece, you're not paying probate, and your beneficiaries get the most money possible in a tax-free or most tax-efficient manner possible. Having representation in place is incredibly important, and this ties back to the power of attorney, because there are going to be many times in your life where you're not going to be either able to attend for medical reasons or perhaps emergencies happen in your life. Now you can exercise that power of attorney and someone else can represent you in your affairs, so you're free to be with your family.
I like the way my heels click on the ground. I feel like a tap dancer. And outer space is so... Ooh, a rabbit. Dang. And my suit's always so dry, and I was like, well, what does it feel like when it's wet? So I just jump back. Splooshy, splooshy. You know that feeling when you're covered in fruit roll-ups? It's like that. Lincoln.
Commercial escrow is a little bit different than the residential. And not too many escrow companies take commercial transactions. And Lorraine, my daughter, she learned the commercial from A to Z. And she is the goddess of commercial escrow. And I'm not saying that because she's my daughter, because she is amazing. You cannot afford to make one little mistake in commercial. And commercial deals are very big, very important, because they call that, you do commercial, no, that's it. Then he never called that escrow company again. But you do commercial, yes, come on in, we'll take care of you. We do hundreds a year because we keep going out and recruiting customers. We don't stop. And it's not really the quantity, it's the quality. And the quality that we do and give our clients generates more escrow transactions for us.
What do you think of the richer flavor we put into new Purina dog chow?
The little richer flavor, superb.
Wunderbar. Tastes better than the old dog chow.
Tastes great. What does it look like?
Lots of flavor for a wee bit of money.
This is dog food's finest sour.
It makes me very happy.
The new taste is muy bueno.
Dogs love it because each nugget is basted with richer flavor. Introducing new, richer tasting dog chow.
My name is Brandon S. Chabner. I am a sole owner and CEO of the law office of Brandon S. Chabner here in Hermosa Beach, and we do corporate law and estate planning and regulatory law. I've been in business since 2007. Before that, I worked with various law firms in Southern California and also on the East Coast, and primarily focused on corporate law. I've been an attorney since 1990. Prior to law school, I went to Yale College and was major in political science, graduated with distinction, magna cum laude honors there. After Yale College, I went to UCLA Law School, was on law review there, enjoyed that a lot. I went to Harvard Business School and got a degree there. I'd like to be their, trusted advisor and help them understand and assess the legal risks relating to their business projects. Also, I can help them be more successful, I think, by helping them move in the direction that enables their deals to get done, and whilst at the same time mitigating business risk. But also, I can provide them both with legal advice and business advice.
Coming or going on a business trip, you've got no time to waste. And nobody knows that better than Hertz. Whether it's picking up or dropping off your Ford or other fine car, nobody has more to do it faster.
Go, OJ, go! Getting you out with super speed. Hertz, the superstar in rent-a-car. Hertz, the superstar in rent-a-car.
You know it.
To Neil McBain, who had to take off with his travel plans only half made, United Airlines dedicates friendship service. There's an in-flight service supervisor on wide-body friendships to book his return flight, even reserve Neil a Hertz car. Another reason more people choose the friendly skies than any other airline in the land.
The friendly skies of your land, United Airlines.
This band played at Free Fest. About 2,000 people watched the show. The rock and roll was awesome like Chex Press. The jam session was whooping a horse's ass with a belt. Retard bus, retard bus, retard bus, retard bus. The band played it on. The band got down like a magic kiss. The crowd roared like a lion. The rock and roll jam session was terrific. Retard bus, retard bus, retard bus, retard bus.
The one, the only, the great Wesley Willis. And we're back. And we'll cut that off. We're back. That was the great Wesley Willis with maybe not a politically correct song title today, but Retard Bus. But if you knew Wesley Willis, then there's no politically correct. We might end with a song with him anyway. But on to much better things instead. We find Speed Racer, and then we'll get Abe queued up instead. This is much more fun. Yeah. Your engine's running, Abe.
Here comes Speed Racer. He's a demon on wheels.
There he is.
He's a demon and he's gonna be chasing after someone. He's gaining on you, so you better look alive. He's busy revving up the powerful Mach 5. And when the odds are against him and there's dangerous work to do, bet your life's Speed Racer, see it through. Go Speed Racer, go Speed Racer, go Speed Racer, go. He's up and flying as he guns a car around the track. He's jamming down the pedal like he's never coming back. Adventure's waiting just ahead. Go Speed Racer, go Speed Racer, go Speed Racer, go.
All right, take it away, Miranda.
Punching myself out. All right, let's get ready for ChabDog Sports Racing segment presented by Chabner Law and Escrow Quick. So shout out to our sponsors for sponsoring our NASCAR segment. And let's talk a little bit about last week's race, which was the Cookout 400, which happened in Richmond, Virginia.
Mm-hmm.
And that was an interesting race. Of course, Chris Buescher, he had a very dominant race. And he did really well. And actually was the team's first victory of the season. So both Buescher and his teammate, Brad Keselowski, part of RFK Racing, they combined to lead a racing best of 190 of 400 laps, with Buescher pacing the field here for 88 laps. The second most that he's led in this race in the 8 years that he has been racing for the NASCAR Cup. And what's really great is that this gives him gets him into the playoffs, because he did win a race. Playoffs? And generally that's one way you get into the playoffs, is of course winning a Playoffs? race. So winning a race is good for him. And let's just talk a little bit about where we are at with this racing result.
Bueller. Okay.
There we go.
Yes.
Chris Buescher, of course, coming in first place, followed by Denny Hamlin, Kyle Busch. Those are your top three. However, none of us here on the ChabDog Sports teams picked those drivers, so we're just going to go down the list. Fourth place, Joey Logano. No wonder you picked Joey.
Oh,
Ryan. In fifth place, Brad Keselowski. In sixth, of course, we talked about their dominant performance during the race. And in number seventh place, Martin Truex Jr., which is Well-Red's pick from last week.
We love winners.
Comes closest to the podium, gaining him 1 point to our standings here. So shout out to Well-Red for
We love
picking
winners.
Martin Truex Jr.
Ooh,
in,
Truex Jr. He's hungry for the
last
cookout.
week's race.
Like I told you.
Now let's talk a little bit about the standings now that Well-Red has 1 extra point here. In the lead, as always, it's going to be Dorothy Dunn from Detroit, a.k.a. La Tigre and Barbie. She is with 21 points in our NASCAR field. And in second place is myself, the co-host, actually the host of the racing segment here, 15 points. Of course, I got a ways to go, that's for sure. And in third place, it's going to be tied with Mr. Well-Red and ChabDog with 13 points. You only need one. You need to pick the winner of this race, and you definitely can knock me out of second place.
Here it comes.
The thrill of victory. Blix in fourth place with 12 points, mostly with the chalk picks. And then we have Aaron, Mr. New York Met himself, with 5 points, but it's okay that we still have a few races here. Just need a pick. Right. We'll get you up. So either way, doesn't matter. I'm sending you some merch just for being an awesome dude. So I'll reach out to you after the pod.
Wow.
And you're still a winner.
That's very generous.
Let's see here.
we
So that's
racing
where
this
we
week?
stand.
We're
That's
gonna
where
race
we
this
stand
week,
here with our NASCAR standings. I will send you the matrix a little bit later, but let's think a little bit about today's race. And this race is one that I think Dorothy will like because it is in Michigan. It's in Michigan. This is the Firekeepers Casino 400 in Brooklyn, Michigan. I know Dorothy knows something about this place.
That's my home.
Yeah, there you go.
Oh, so you guys can hear me still? I don't know why you can't see me, but yeah, that's where I was raised, literally in that town.
Yes.
Yes.
Exactly.
And I worked at the Big Boy, the only restaurant. And I did not have sex there. I don't know why you're playing that. I never had sex in that town. But
Didn't happen at the Big Boys. We learned something new today.
I didn't have sex till I came to California. But anyway, for the record.
Your dad can't hear you. Your daddy's not hearing.
No, my parents hate the show. Well, not my dad, my mom.
Good. So let's talk a little bit about the Firekeepers Casino 400. Not sure if you ever got to go to any of the NASCAR races while you were growing up there.
No.
Ah, okay. Well, let's talk a little bit about it. It's a 2-mile oval located in Brooklyn, Michigan, and it is the closest track to Motor City, Detroit, as we all know. And of course, this is always going to be a little bit of a high pressure situation for the manufacturers of the cars because, of course, Detroit is the headquarters of, Chevrolet and Ford. Of course, not Toyota, but Chevrolet and Ford are main players there. And of course, they want to show that their cars can win at this oval track because you're going to have representatives from the manufacturers probably attending this race, and you want to make a good impression on your bosses that you're going to do well. So this is definitely always a little bit of some things on the line. And they started in 1969, so it's an old racetrack. And let's talk a little bit about it. It's a 400-mile race. It's 200 laps. It's a 2-mile lapper. So you will see some fast cars, especially because this is like a super speedway, pretty much.
How much
at
for the
2
lapper?
miles long. And it will start at 2:30 p.m.
How much is lapper?
Time. What's that?
How much is a lapper?
2 miles.
Okay. I was wondering in terms of dollars, but okay. It's 2 miles is another way to price it. Okay.
So it's 2 mile lap and it's 400 miles.
Yes.
Race. So that's going to be fun, right?
Mm-hmm.
We got to like that. So here's an interesting thing about today's race that I think we should keep in mind. One, the race was postponed till about right now, 11:30 a.m. The reason for that is because it's been raining and there was some, at least the forecast was showing for some rain. This is one of those racetracks that you don't want to race in the rain because the cars are going really, really fast. These are really 2 mile speedways. I mean, you're hauling ass, and when it rains or the track is wet, the potential for really bad accidents is very high. So it's one of the reasons why we have a delayed start. It is possible that if it starts raining during the race, at some point they may call the race early.
Really?
And that might be it. And one of the reasons for that is because this racetrack does not have the lights to do night racing. So if you postpone it and the track is wet and you got to wait for the track to dry, you might be getting into the twilight hours and you might get into the nighttime. There is no lights at this track, so this race is going to be called at some point. So just keep that in mind as we watch today's race, that there is a potential that not all 200 laps are going to be raced today. So that's something we just need to keep.
But they will race all 200.
What's that?
They will race all 200. Strike.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. It's
everyone
gonna
likes
be,
Yankees, but they're like.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting.
So they'll race 200. Like if they have to stop with 180 raced, 180 laps done, they'll come back the next day and finish the 20, Abe?
No, they'll call it.
Oh, they'll
That'll
just call
be
it. Okay.
And
how many?
If you race more than 100 laps, if we get more than 100 laps out of this race, which is the halfway point, anything after that they'll just call the race. So if it starts raining on the track and we're at lap 101, that's it. That's pretty much it for the race today.
Yep.
Now maybe Dorothy can make a few phone calls and have the track install some lights there so we can race at night in the future. You know, that would be helpful. You know.
Goodness. Yeah, I know it has been raining there because my parents are not here. They left, and my mom's in Indiana. She says it's been raining a lot. Just so you know, a little history on this race. It used to be Party Central, like Drunk Fest. Therefore, I was not allowed to work there because a lot of my friends work there, you know, for our summer jobs and make a killing. My parental unit preferred not that. So I just stayed at Big Boy. So.
Well, you still made the killing at the Big Boy. I'm sure they tipped you well.
Well, you had to work at Big Boy. I mean, I get it.
I got to meet some of the drivers because they would come late night at Big Boy. So I got to meet.
I guess when you're the only diner in town, right?
Exactly. Yes. Well, and the Big Boy. Not as any old diner, it's a Big Boy.
And Big Boys is actually pretty good. It's pretty good.
Yes.
I mean, it's better. I think it's better than Denny's and IHOP and all of them.
Oh, it's the In-N-Out burger of diners back in Michigan for sure. Wouldn't you say, Dorothy?
Yes.
Big Boy.
Looks like a lot of
Dorothy
fun.
D?
But let's talk a little bit about qualifying and who is on our starting lineup for today. I do want to say that the best speed done on this track was 193.382 miles per hour. That is fast. That is hauling ass. And that's one of the reasons why we can't have a wet racetrack, because you're going 193.382 miles per hour. That is super fast. So this is really a fast race. So the fans here in Brooklyn, Michigan get an awesome race. But today's a little bit of a wet race, but we'll see. But I will tell you this. The last time that they've actually had to postpone the race and play this game was in 2019. So it's not something that does happen every year. It does happen from time to time. Christopher Bell leads us today in today's lineup, followed by Ross Chastain, Ty Gibbs, Chris Buescher, Martin Truex Jr. is back in the lineup here in the top 10. Joey Logano is number 6. William Byron, number 7. Kyle Busch is the number 8 car in 8. So that's fitting. Ryan Blaney.
Bend over here. It comes again.
And Chase Elliott. So that's your top 10. Christopher Bell, Ross Chastain, Ty Gibbs, Chris Buescher, Martin Truex Jr., Joey Logano, William Byron, Kyle Busch, Ryan Blaney, and Chase Elliott. Those are your top 10 drivers for today's Firekeepers Casino 400 in Brooklyn, Michigan, home of Dorothy Dawn.
Yes, the home of Dorothy Dawn and her wonderful Shoney's Big Boy restaurant.
And considering that Mr. Well-Read did grab the sole point in last week's race, you will get the first pick for today.
Excellent. Well, here, as I give my first pick, or give the first pick, I'm going to show, this is the scene outside the studio today on Abe's EOS camera. And it was, boy, we've had some wonderful weather here lately. It's sort of hazy right now, but it was sunnier, and there's the ocean out there, and it's a comfortable 72 degrees. So if you want to go swimming, now's a great day for it. And okay, so that guy's getting his car washed. Yeah, you said number 8 on the lineup was
Kyle Busch. Number 8 in the number 8 car is Kyle Busch in a Chevrolet.
Okay, and on the playlist, this is song number 8 in the playlist.
Bend over here, it comes again.
The Bohica clip. So give me number 8. Sorry. I want number 8.
Bend over here, it comes again.
Kyle Busch.
Yep. Kyle Busch, I think he's due for a win, so I would not be surprised to see him come up with the checkered flag.
All right.
All right, let's go with Dorothy Don. This is your hometown. This is your home race. Who do you like in this race today? Who's the winner? Who's going to Bob's Big Boy afterwards with the trophy? We're going to go with Kevin Harvick.
Harvick, okay. Well, Dorothy's not a guy, but she's crazy.
Yeah.
Can you hear her? Jesus. Let's do a quick in and out.
Becomes when was the last time he won there, because it makes a difference if it was with the old cars or the new generational cars.
Now we can see her.
He hasn't won in 2023 yet. But Ford is 8 cars in a row.
But when you look that up, we're going to put you down, Dorothy, for Kevin Harvick.
With the Ford.
How about you, Mr. Francisco Lindor? What do you see in this?
Bend over here, it comes again.
I see Martin Truex Jr.
Coming in for the coming in again.
Good choice.
Close.
Yeah, let's give him a try.
The thrill of victory.
Yeah, that's
you know what ChabDog wants? What was he thinking about the chalk?
He's chalk. Didn't give him much last week. Who's chalk this week?
The chalk's going to be Christopher Bell.
Yeah, Christopher Bell. I think he'd approve of that.
I think Christopher Bell's going to be the chalk in this race, and with that, we're going to put ChabDog and Blix with Christopher Bell today.
Yeah, Blix is only 1 point behind ChabDog too, so.
Yeah, you'll be okay. And then myself, let's see.
Yes.
I like. Ooh, these are tough. I like them all.
Oh.
I really like Kyle Busch. Kyle Busch is speaking to me. Oh. So I'm going to go with Kyle Busch as well, and that'll be
Kyle Busch bandwagon.
Well read here. I like the vibe. I like that he's in a Chevrolet, so of course, he's got to make a little bit of a show. With that, can't let them Toyotas come up head, right? Which is what Christopher Bell has. Christopher Bell, Ty Gibbs, and Martin Truex Jr. are all in Toyotas. But hey, maybe they want to prove that they are the new Detroit, in their Toyota series, So, and with that will conclude our NASCAR segment.
All
right. Excellent. Well, that segues us well into our next segment, which would be Dorothy Dawn.
Yay, and I'm glad you can see me again.
Yes. Let's get you now while we can get it in. This is great. So here's...
Yeah.
There we go. What would we eat? And there we go. Wow, look at that. We got Dorothy, we got your slider, everything, and sound at the same time. Quick, Dorothy, before some technical things glitches it, go.
Okay, so I did get to see this movie this week. So highly recommend.
Okay.
And I'm going to give you a little shout out of what Barbie and Ken would eat. No, JP thought that was a little corny.
Barbie. I think that's you.
JP was like, I go, put a Ken doll on there. He goes, no, I'll put Ryan Gosling. So, but I'm going to talk about, like, in Barbie Land, if you haven't not seen the movie yet, which is kind of a riff off of Garden of Eden before there was sin. Like, everything's perfect. You know, there's no cellulite, there's no obesity, and everything's perfect. And we don't eat out of emotion, and we play, we go do activities, and we rollerblade, and we walk our pets, and we eat hamburgers, we eat dessert, and we eat everything in moderation. So that is the What Would Barbie and Ken diet. They just eat like normal people, and they move a lot. It's not rocket science. And they drink a lot of water, and they don't get drunk. But they do drink alcohol, just in moderation.
Okay.
That's
they don't get drunk.
The diet.
Yeah, no, that's wow.
So
that's a deep movie.
The
That's much deeper than I was anticipating. That's
yeah.
I mean, Dorothy, my goodness, wow.
Can you imagine not overeating and not getting drunk and like just and playing and walking?
Not having any fatty cellulite disease or anything, like living in the Garden of Eden. That sounds pretty cool.
Well, that's all it would be, is just
not
being
eating
a
because of
normal
stress.
human being.
Not eating, not using food as medication.
That might be society when the robots take over everything and we don't have to work and be all stressed out from work. That lead us to, I don't know, gobble up everything, a bag of chips every 5 minutes while we're at work. I mean, it would be nice. You know what? I'll definitely vacation with all of you guys in Barbie Land. But then, like, you know, come the beginning of the month when the mortgage is due, it's like that might be where I get a little stuck.
Yeah.
Yeah, they don't even really have money there, because when she goes to California in the real world with Ken in the movie, and she's like walking into stores and walking out with the stuff because she doesn't realize that that's stealing. Which I totally did that when I was like 5. My girlfriend told me to take some sprees at the grocery store in Brooklyn, Michigan. And I was like, okay. And I took it, hid it under my winter jacket. And she's like, don't tell mom and dad. And I was like, why? And then as soon as I got home, I was like, Mom, Dad, guess what we did? And I don't know why she didn't want me to tell her parents. My mom and dad are like, that's called stealing.
Yep.
But I didn't know. I honestly didn't know.
She the same one that looted the building and called it a peaceful protest after she lit it on fire? In Brooklyn. No, sorry. Just kidding. You're on a roll here, please.
See, I was living in the Garden of Eden.
Peaceful protest.
But that's my simple thing for the day. I guess I'm trying to show you, like, really nutrition is extremely complex, but it's also very simple. You know, just, don't overdo things and do move. Next week, I am looking forward to giving you the DL on Vladimir Guerrero.
Ooh.
Nice.
Yeah.
Dorothy D.
Vladdy, huh? Home run derby champ, too.
Vladimir Guerrero.
So you can look forward to that.
You could use him on the Angels, and that would actually be very fitting if we could have, because his dad used to play for the Angels. So I think having Vladdy on the Angels would make
true.
Sense. But if he played for the Mets too, that would be really good too, because they could use a power hitter. Because I don't know what happened to Pete Alonso, but he used to be the guy. But
he can't stop hitting into double plays. He strikes out and he hits into double plays. And who knows what the Mets are going to do with him. That's like the next big thing. Everyone's going to be talking about it because there's nothing else to talk about with the Mets. People are going to talk about what are they going to do with Pete Alonso, whether they should trade him or not. I don't know. They might have let him hit free
good in
agency.
the clubhouse, isn't he? He's like a good.
Yeah, he seems like a good guy. But
yeah, he's fun.
Here's what they're going to be talking about.
Who knows? His average is really low this year, but who else are they going to get to hit for power? They don't really have any big power hitters. So I think they need to try to find a middle ground, because the way I'm thinking about it is everyone everyone's got a price they would take a player at. Like, I don't think anyone wants to sign Pete Alonso for 10 years, but I don't think anyone would turn him down if they can get him for 3 years, but he's not going to accept that. If you can get him on 5-year deal for, well, like a 5-year, it'd probably be like $160, $170 million. That might be the way to go, but
who's got that kind of money to spend?
I don't know what he's going to demand.
Yeah. Well, what his agent makes him demand, but who's got that kind of money? Who can drop $106 million on a Pete Alonso today? There's only a handful of teams.
I mean, Steve Cohen can.
Yeah, there's one. The Yankees.
The problem with these salaries, everyone says it's not my money, and he's got all unlimited money, so salaries don't matter. Is that there's a rule in the baseball collective bargaining agreement that says if you go more than $40 million over this luxury threshold, then your draft pick goes down 10 spots.
Yeah.
Your first draft pick goes down 10 spots unless it's top 6. So that's why I think they're tanking it. They're trying to get inside the top 6 because if they have the 7th, it goes down to 17th. But if they get the 6th, it stays at 6.
Wow.
So that's what they're trying to do this year. But as far as future years go, if they're going to try to make this a sustainable thing, it would help if their draft pick didn't keep getting pushed back. Like this year, they didn't draft until 30-something because of that luxury threshold or whatever it's called.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why it matters how much the Mets pay Pete Alonso and why they have to think about what they're going to do with them. I think they have to work something out, try to get him at a reasonable price just because he does hit for so much power, and they are going to need someone to hit for power.
Someone they can afford. Wow. Well, that's a good segue into the next section. I'll get to the section here on the NFL and how they pickpocketed TV's money. I haven't thought through how baseball gets their money, but maybe this will be some instructive for us. Let's get a logo going here. There we go. Yeah, here.
Let's see.
Where's my picture here? There we are. So I'm going to take you back to a time of the 1950s, and the NFL is not nearly as popular as it is today. Like it's a fraction. The regional sports,
Correct.
Baseball is the nation's pastime. College football is big everywhere. The first deal that the NFL had was with the Dumont Television Network. Has anyone even heard of Dumont before? Bueller?
No.
Yeah. They went bankrupt in 56, 57. And then the NFL just fell into regional
before
packages.
Football got big. That is just horrible timing.
So that's what was bad about it. Now, 1961. So today's NFL, what we're used to seeing is today's NFL, every game televised. That didn't happen until the deal the NFL struck with CBS in 1961. So it was pretty much a free-for-all until then. And what they had was pretty lowly rated. CFL games apparently outrated the NFL in the Northeast. CFL, Canadian Football League. It was big back then. In fact, I can remember a time when I was, an early adolescent, early teenager, when CFL salaries were relatively comparable to what they were paying average players in the NFL, if you were a lineman or a defensive player. And every once in a while, the CFL would snag a higher-ranked NFL player like a Vince Ferragamo or Roman Gabriel and such would come up and play in the CFL. So it wasn't that bad of a thing to play. Today it's just like it's not even a junior development league. But back then, 61, CBS agreed to broadcast all the games. First time they were all televised and one contract, and they got $14 million in 1964, and by 1966 they got $18 million. But then there was this other league, this upstart league, the AFL going, and NBC in 1965 paid the AFL $36 million. And the AFL promptly took that money and started pulling away veteran players and draft pick from the players from the draft off the NFL and paying them with all this outlandish money they were getting this TV contract. So that really pumped the merger between the two networks. They had between the AFL and the NFL. Not they didn't have a lot of reasons to merge. That's probably one of the bigger ones right there because they're about to spend each other into oblivion with their TV money. So they pull off the merger in 1970. And where are we here? Yeah, so there's CBS, NBC. Then begins a 20-year period where we all, I grew up in here, you kids came on a little later, but we all watched this here, where NFL programming pretty much took over all the Nielsen ratings. I'll show you this picture here. This is the top 10 television programs of all time from 1961 to the year 2000. And yeah, it's blurry, but of the 45 things listed there, 20 of them are Super Bowls, and the rest are shows that are never going to happen again. Like the MASH, the last episode is on the Gone with the Wind, showing a freaking movie. Is not going to happen. ABC Theater the day after, it was a scary movie, or the last show of The Fugitive. These things are never going to happen. These TV events are never going to happen again because nobody tunes in for event TV anymore. Nobody has to wait until 8 o'clock on Sunday night to see the show, because the whole streaming model destroyed that. Streaming model, and it began, though, with other cable channels just taking all the audience away and feeding them all away. So now you get down to where you've got, it's only the Super Bowls, only football that's drawing in the fans. And everything else, they're going, well, today, what? We see we can see the last episode in the series first if we want, because we can get totally TV on demand there. So the NFL, they picked up on that, and they could see, certainly over this period here from 1960 to 2000, that they're getting most of the live viewers. And as the years go on, getting closer to the year 2000, it's more football and less of everything else. And they're getting the lion's share of the viewers, even though the viewers are dropping because they're getting more bled out by all the different cable networks there. But it's just getting that tilt there. They start to seize the opportunity. They start to pull in more ad money. But by 2010, the blood was in the water. And you could see that then you have Netflix and Hulu and YouTube are taking away everybody else. So now it's nothing but the only scheduled TV, only time people show up for scheduled TV in regular numbers are NFL games and college games, and that's that, or some of the big sporting events. And so with that happening, the advantage is the NFL. Like there's nothing else here, because in the last 5 years, the NFL has gotten more money each year, and yet the viewership's fallen. So this graph shows, at the left end of the chart at 17.9. Viewership peaked in 2010, 2011 at 17.9 million households average viewership per week. And then it fell, and then it came back up again around 2016, 2017. And then it dipped down to 15 million in 2017, 2018. Does anyone remember what that was? Remember 2017, 2018, the controversy that erupted? There were two controversies around one player. Bueller?
I do.
Go ahead, Dorothy.
It's that guy with the curly hair in San Francisco.
Yeah, the Egyptian fella.
Ding, ding, ding.
Colin Kaepernick. Yeah, so this is what happens to your brand when you get involved in politics. Your ratings go down because you're not going to stand for the anthem, or you're not going to salute the flag, you're not going to take care of veterans properly. Boom. So they've come back. Last year we got up to about 16. It's sort of coming back. But that's a downward trajectory right there. And yet, in the same period, the NFL is getting more money. Because all they do is they come back to the networks and say, well, I'll tell you what, we don't even need you distributing us anymore. Because like 30, 40 years ago, like you had to actually have a broadcast tower and physically broadcast signals for distribution. But that's America today in the 21st century is not why. We don't need this anymore. They can put it out over Google. They can put it out over YouTube. They can put it out over any... The audience is going to find the NFL wherever they are and pay whatever they have to pay to see the games. So ABC as a distribution channel, that's ridiculous. And they know it. So they tell the networks, hey, like either you produce everything at your cost and give us 100% of the profit, or you won't get anything. And the choice of the networks, they get nothing. That means they don't even have a chance to advertise to this audience all the crummy shows that they're doing elsewhere on the network. If they lose that, then they really have lost everything, and they are completely irrelevant. So that's why they're hanging on. So, advantage NFL. Good news for the NFL is, they've just made a ton of money. Roger Goodell, this guy's going to go down as one of the smartest business people in history in the way that he and his league were able to fleece the TV networks. But the trouble is the gravy train's over. They just eradicated the last dollar of profit out of those networks. But their viewership has fallen. So there's no more, you don't get more revenue of that, you get less. There's no one else's pocket they can pick anymore. So from here on, I believe we're going to see a period of relative stability in terms of players' contracts, because there's just not much more. They can't get any more money. But I'll turn it over to you guys. What do you think? Am I crazy?
Well, that's why they've gone into streaming, right? To try to try to make some of the money that's the viewership in cable is plateaued, so they're going into streaming more. Although I guess that might just move the viewers. I don't know if it's going to create more viewers, but
it just moves existing viewers onto other platforms they're already getting paid on. So it's just a question of where's the most efficient place to get it.
Yeah. I mean, you can't change. It's harder to change the channel when you're on a streaming service. It's just a pain in the butt. You have to go back, and you have to hit the input if you want to get to another channel. So maybe that's their plan. Like you start watching Thursday Night Football, and you just, it's a pain in the butt to change the channel, so I'll just leave it on. At least that would work for me, maybe. But yeah, I think that's really interesting, especially now with the running backs wanting more money, and there might not be anywhere to get it from.
No, there's nowhere to give.
So. Yeah,
unless somebody else wants to get less.
They're going to have to get creative. I mean, they just have this new deal with YouTube. That might help a little bit with Sunday Ticket.
Yeah, but YouTube's just paying the same money.
The NFL always think of something.
Yeah, YouTube's just paying the same money DirecTV was paying, so there's no new money coming there.
Well, I mean, the deal's got to be for more money than the old one, right? It's like a brand new deal, isn't it? But yeah, you're right. They sold the same package. I get what you're saying.
Yeah. I mean, I didn't see the fine print, but the details I saw didn't show the NFL getting that much more, because the NFL pretty much already hollowed out DirecTV's profit years ago. So that was it. They're not giving YouTube much of a better deal. YouTube's just getting a chance to build a network around it. Yeah, the NFL it's a monster of itself. It's outgrown all the networks. It doesn't need them. They need the NFL now because nobody else tunes in for appointment television. That's just it. They're going to tune in. We know they know, and maybe it's not the same numbers they got 5 years ago. Maybe a lot of old farts, of my generation and older aren't here to watch it anymore either. But either way, it's still the biggest audience. It's still big as big, and they draw a lot of power. But I don't see it going any higher from here.
So is the next thing direct to consumer? They just forgo the networks, make their own streaming service, and just take all the money that way. Yeah, and that would be is that the next step you're thinking?
If the networks look sideways and say and balk at all, yeah, boom. I mean, the NFL network already exists, and now it's just a question of getting the right streaming partner, finding some sucker who will pay their distribution costs for them, because they don't have to reinvent the wheel. They just go to Google or somebody, and they've already got the servers and the capacity to feed 100 million, 150 million, 200 million, 300 million people at once a signal. It's like when the satellites, this whole system that Elon Musk has with Starlink, with the satellites, so we don't really realize what that is. When that whole system gets properly, finishes deploying a few more thousand or 10,000, however many it is, and those things go on, the wireless network is useless. Where's my phone? Here it is. Yeah, like this is right now on the wireless network, the 3G, 5G, whatever. That network, that hardwire network's redundant. Every wire coming into your house is redundant. All the NFL packages are redundant because you just be able to, your TV will the phone, everything will just talk to the satellite and get the signal off of that. Everywhere on the world, including places in China and India where they don't want you to see these things. They'll get to watch the Super Bowl too. Lucky them.
See, I mean, I think right now what I've seen is, like, for example, like for this upcoming Super Bowl, if I'm not mistaken, like Nickelodeon is going to have they're going to be broadcasting the Super Bowl.
Yeah, slime bowl.
Yeah, they're gonna make it all like goofy for the kids with slime, and like they're gonna make it like they do for their Nickelodeon football game, right? Mm-hmm. So like that's something different where you say, hey, you're gonna be able to watch the Super Bowl on Nickelodeon this year, and you're gonna be able to see the Super Bowl on the big network. And then there's the other thing that, I mean, we don't talk about that maybe it's not so much heard of on streaming, but it has to do with the commercials. Because as we know, like Super Bowl commercials are if you're going to watch any commercials, it's usually the Super Bowl commercials because they're supposed to be kind of the better commercials of all the commercials, right? And
plus there's nothing else on, so it's not, no one's changing the channel.
Yep.
Right, and that's big money for them too. So it's, the commercials really are pumping a lot of money into this. And then of course you always got the epic halftime show. So it's just, the Super Bowl is just such a great event. It's a yearly event.
Oh, it's yeah.
And I think they really win. The NFL
There's a reason
really
why it's
wins.
number one. No, there's no. There's a reason why it's number one. There's no doubt about that. Like I ain't watching. Me and tens of millions of others aren't gonna watch anything else. We're good for that. Speaking of watching, I was down just this week, a few days ago, having 11 o'clock an early lunch at the Green Spot, and I bumped into this actress at another table.
Hey, not Air Marshal John. You want to get back in that restroom and not rest?
No.
Anyone recognize her?
I have to get back to my
seat. So McCarthy.
That's her.
On my seat.
Yeah, she was one table away talking to some other gal, and they're just, such a tight little environment. It was hard not to hear the conversation at the other table. I'm trying to look at some mortgage documents.
Interesting.
No, I think, I definitely got it.
Uh-oh. What's that?
She looks a little thinner.
I gotta get back to my seat. Could you just move your leg, please? I gotta go.
Uh-oh.
Uh-oh.
Somebody found a souvenir. You feel that?
She wants to go mile high.
That's for my undercarriage.
Okay.
That can go up and higher.
Okay.
John, get us a blanket.
No.
I gotta take a whiz and I'll be right back.
Oh. Can you imagine? Creepy. Anyway, great act. She's talking about the strike, and I don't know, she's got some other things on the side, but she got to borrow some money from Daddy if this goes on much longer.
Interesting.
She gossip for the minute.
She's on those. She's on those commercials. She doesn't need to act anymore.
Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah.
I see them all the time. What is it? It's like a vacation booking service.
Oh yeah, it's for. What is that for? Oh my gosh, I see it so many times on MLB.
Jeez, it's a pretty bad commercial if you can't remember
I was just on today. I was just she's on that commercial every
I'm so tired of that commercial.
Yeah, you can't remember it, so it's ineffective.
Yeah, that's not a good sign.
No,
I just remember
you got to show it to you another 10,000 times, I guess, before you remember it.
Yeah, maybe next time.
Do you guys know who Pam on The Office is?
I remember her.
Jenna Fisher.
Oh, Pam? Yes.
I had a real estate agent come through my open house yesterday, and she goes, "You probably get told this all the time. You look just like Pam from The Office."
Oh, wow.
Really?
I have never been told that in my life. I didn't even know who she was. But just, it's my new doppelganger.
Okay.
I can kind of see it. That's definitely a compliment.
Yeah.
Oh, good. Thank you.
Definitely a compliment.
Yeah.
Kind of like...
No, Lindsay, when I was at the bar,
here's why you
look just like her. I was like, yay.
can win on little things.
Here's Bear. Bear's going to teach us about winning here.
And we'll be talking with you about little things as long as you're here. On little things and a little something extra. Now let's just suppose that we say that the maximum ability one can have is 100. That's the way we'll approach it. And let's say here I am, someone that really only has, based on that 100, a 75% or 75 ability. And here over here is someone that has 85 that I'm going to play against.
Coach.
Now, it takes everyone, but this is just for you as an individual.
But, Coach.
Now, on Saturday, by virtue of the fact that you have paid the price, you've learned those lessons, you work on the little things, you're willing to give a little extra.
You said there'd be no math here,
Although
Coach.
you only have 75% ability, you play a little over your head, and we expect you to. Okay, you play, and you'll be an 85 player that day. Now, here's another man over here that's playing against you. Now, this could happen. It don't always happen. That maybe he hasn't played the prize. Maybe he hasn't learned those lessons. Maybe he's not as dedicated as you are. And he doesn't play as well as he's supposed to play. And he falls off 10%. Or he falls off 10. He only plays 75. And that's just to illustrate my point. Then you,
because of your preparation and the things I'm trying to get across to you,
Yeah, trying to get across all you knuckleheads.
you can beat him because you paid 85.
Yeah.
And if we do that as a team, 11 at a time, well, 4 years from now, why, you'll be walking out of here as a national champion. And I'll tell you this, I expect nothing less.
What a rousing speech.
Yes, that's how you do it. It just seems so simple when Bear Bryant explains it.
Just drop the microphone. Yeah, walk away. Well, we're at that time of the show. It's time for us to drop the microphone and walk away. Any final words? We'll start with you, Abe.
Absolutely. I'm just excited for another week of, baseball and racing and, of course, packing, getting ready to go see my godbrother in New Jersey.
Yes.
So that's going to be on Saturday. I'll be flying out of LAX, and I think we're going to some sort of, it was the Yankees AA team game. I think they're playing the Ponies, I think.
No, I'm going to that. That's the game I'm going to on Friday. Are you going on Friday?
Saturday.
You just
Saturday.
Saturday.
I missed you by a day. Yeah.
Damn it. Well, come on Saturday. I think that's where
I'll have to
we're
check
going.
my schedule. Maybe, yeah.
Yeah,
I'm going to be there on Friday. That's wild.
Well, I'll let you know if we buy tickets or what the situation is.
Okay.
So that, I think, is
we'll see Acuna.
Yeah, so Saturday we're going to go see a minor league game, and then I believe Rough and Rowdy is coming up on August 18th. That's going to be in West Virginia, and I know Frank's going to go there. I know he said I'm going, and we're all going to Rough and Rowdy. So that's on the agenda. I got to find out where I'm going to be next Sunday for the show. Hopefully I'm somewhere where I'm not driving somewhere and I can get Tank on the line. So that's where I'll be trying to get that for
what's going to be better for you, Saturday or Sunday, Abe?
What's that?
Which do you think is going to be better for you, Saturday or Sunday for a show? If we have a choice.
It'll probably be Sunday because Saturday I'm flying all day, and then when I get there, I'll probably be driving down to the stadium, and this is going to be in the afternoon. So
all right.
It's Sunday for sure.
All right. Well, hear that, Aaron? We're going to try for a Sunday if you can join us, but it was great to have you here today.
Yeah, I have to check my schedule. It's always different each week. And the Mets, they choke it away. They loaded the bases because Alonso walks instead of hitting into a double play for once. Of course, DJ Stewart grounds out feebly. So Mets are still scoreless.
Nah.
And yeah, a great time. Got to watch some wrestling, SummerSlam last night.
That's right. Thank you for bringing that up.
Pretty good show.
You follow a lot of wrestling. I want to bring that up because you do seem to follow a lot of wrestling there on Twitter. Or on X. On your X. Give us your X handle.
Aaron P. York. P is in Philip.
Aaron P. York. On X.
Yes.
Not Twitter. It's
on the X. Oh, there's an E at the end of the York.
That's right. On the X.
You'll see. Yeah, just look for those Mets and wrestling tweets. And yeah, I was getting into it. The men's the heavyweight match between Rollins and Balor was really good. And then the women's triple threat match for the title was really exciting. And then the main event between Roman Reigns and Jey Uso was a little slow. It was a little too many weapons, but the end was exciting. I'm not gonna. I won't spoil it now because I'm always the guy who's watching like the day after, so I'm not gonna spoil it for people.
You're not gonna say anything about Logan Paul
who haven't watched it yet.
You won't say anything about Logan Paul.
It was exciting at the end, so that was good. It was a good SummerSlam.
So you won't give us any indication what Logan Paul might have done?
Oh yeah, Logan Paul. That was he almost stole the show. He went on first against Ricochet. That was a really good match. Some really good spots. Actually, I did tweet that. It was my favorite pure wrestling moment.
Yes.
It wasn't a story. There were exciting storyline moments. There was a lot of exciting stuff, but just the pure wrestling move, that Logan Paul did was really good. It's on my Twitter. So
there it is.
But he let off the
Aaron
show, so you can just watch it.
Aaron Phillip York on his X. We don't use Twitter. It's right there. And
now I have to go. My son wants to play.
Really hardcore analysis. All right, we're going to finish up today.
I'm going to go body slam him. All right.
We're going to finish up today with another Wesley Willis song. This one's a little more topical. This is on O.J. Simpson. And then we'll play maybe a little Revenge of the Tres to finish that, the Mexican version coming up. All right, last week with ChabDog gone. He'll be back next Sunday. Yeah, it'll be next Sunday. We're back on the air. We'll see you then, everybody. Take care.
O.J. Simpson murdered Nicole Simpson and Ronald Goldman. He stabbed both of them to death with a machete. He was arrested on 2 state murder charges. O.J. Simpson was taken to jail. O.J. Simpson, O.J. Simpson, O.J. Simpson, O.J. Simpson. O.J. Simpson's surrender was at 11 a.m. He was arrested by the Los Angeles Police Department at 9 o'clock p.m. Outside the walls of Simpson's estate, members of O.J. Simpson's family hugged each other. They cried after word of the arrest came out. O.J. Simpson, O.J. Simpson, O.J. Simpson, O.J. Simpson. O.J. Simpson was a no-good jerk. He is a fucking asshole. He had no business killing his ex-wife Nicole and her friend Ronald Goldman. O.J. Simpson played on the Naked Gun and Roots, but as of now, he is a hardened criminal. O.J. Simpson, O.J. Simpson, O.J. Simpson, O.J. Simpson. Rock over London, rock on Chicago, the exclusive company. Say it with me.
All right, the Electric Company with Juice, played under Section 107 of the Copyright Act. This is all under free use here. As long with this, too. This is very influential mixture from the 1990s. Ooh, so loud.
First 10 rows anointed. The fiesta's popping and all fingers pointed. Riyadh bottles got the whole crowd jointed. Checking what eyes can't be sweating no why. I can't be living word fly. Keep the gleam in your eye. Con mucho drum roll on time, let the home blow. Gas to the pedal like metal at a corn show. The rhyme rocker with a shish load of placa. Grab the mic and freak the rhythm till there's no more bala. Stomy palabra, pero booze and ha-ha. That includes all who goes to see la-la. So do the cha-cha, who can call me Papa. We're okay for action, hunt until mañana. Down for hi-hat crash and whiplash. City night, bright light and herb stash. ¿Qué onda, muchacho? Arriba las manos, caballo moreno, penetra tu barrio. Te enseño rolas de rock back frente. That's again, esto pa' la gente. Like chanclazos, deep like fregadazos. Still got the coke and rum and flex the brazos. Then I hit you from a different angle. Lake sweep, cheap shot, birch is straight cop. So it's twin, pistolero, guerrero, don't be afraid of that. A matter of fact, I got like 10,000 maniacs in the crowd on a very good night. But keep it hype for a fraction of that. To get the fatty like that. Tronica en el aire, todos quieren baile. Plus my sick Latin style, baile. Trouble as they come. I can feel the drum, don't know the words, but you can hum. Oye muñeca, ya mueve la cadera sobre el ritmo y las trompetas. To the beat, kick hard como escopeta. Vatos on the prowl for the hoochie looking fresca. All you delincuentes, venga para enfrente. Hazte para atrás si tú eres muy decente. Cause I'm chueco, bent, contact the hierba. Lo que será, será cuando lo Get your eyes burn, head turn, pupils tight back, stiff and your neck hurt. And then you exert, check the vibe. Who got more freaky than I? I survived, dodge a hoorah, trying to shoot eye. So I mueva smooth, creep and crawl. They got another batch, let it thaw and lay shaw. Won't take fall, this here is when the take off. Trick, take a flick of the click here.